I don't see them really giving this one up. This is going to be a 50-50 that's going to continue to take place, I imagine, week after week until something breaks. Most importantly here, though, we talk about how a lot of the times 50-50s end up punishing both squads, but Team Cheez-It have been able to bounce back, and they did get some favorable zones. Despite taking the 50-50, their rotations weren't delayed by that much, and they're still able to get into the center zone and play those spots excellently. Here we are on board with Team Rockstar for game number 5. As go ahead and drop down over towards Countdown here, and they will be able to get some decent loot, and they have, it looks like, they have Matt Pickett now on the Caustic here, and Tech is still rocking that Wraith for the time being. The loot, not the greatest quite yet, but at least Matt Pickett picking up the blue for himself.
This is what I always wondered what Matt Pickett is. What legend is he actually going to play? He gets put on so many different ones. And a lot of times it's because you're willing to, be the nice guy on your team. Be like, oh yeah, I'll play whatever it is. But a lot of times it doesn't really come down to, just one specific legend that you're playing that's going to make or break it. It's about your team, and it's about the consistency and the level that you play that legend at. So again, would love to see Pickett just lock one down and stick with it instead of changing 2 to 3 times per matches. But now Cheez-It with some pretty poor loot. There goes the blue armor for Joey Blackout. But it looks like the plan is if you don't have double blues here, so you go and continue to loot out and try to hit this 3-story, 4-story building over towards the edge. You also have that geyser choke area. That's a possibility too. You don't want to take a fight against Team Intel with lackluster loot.
Yeah, things are looking a little bit better. Double blues, though, for Intel right now, as looks like they're getting ready for the long haul, already throwing down barrels. I don't know if they were able to pick up a scan. I can't see through all the icons whether or not we have a beacon there, but it doesn't look like it. And let's go ahead and take a look at the ring. Since this 50-50 is not going to take place, we do have to disengage fully coming out from Team Cheez-It there. And last time Intel tried to chase after them, they got absolutely punished for it. And so now they're just going to be happy to take this loot instead. Oh.
Yeah, that's an interesting zone. It looks like it's going to be that zone where the respawn beacon is up to the very north-hand side of the map, which is going to be huge for a team like Team Razer because they're most likely going to play that train tunnel and then finally peek their way out. We've seen them do that numerous times, so I like to kind of keep on board with them throughout all of this, as a lot of teams have a fairly far rotation. One of those teams would be the Overlook squad and Team Cruelty, who was popping off early, but they started to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, a few teams are going to have priority over Team Razer and trying to get a position over by that circle that you're talking about, right outside of the train tracks on the far northernmost respawn beacon. Team Cruelty, though, taking their time looting here with 45 seconds left to go. They're not really in position yet to try and get a spot over there as they continue their loot path. And here it is, Team Razer, this time around, not able to get the armors that they wanted. With double whites along with the blue onto Mr. Hakulo. Oh, there's the full squad. He spots them out, and he connects onto the blue, the 102, forcing out that bubble early on. He could try and slide back, but now it looks like Hakulo will play this a little bit more cautiously, as again, gaining this position is so much more important for them here. But it looks like a team's already in position to try and stop them. But hey, Team Razer are going to make a play for it anyhow, and it looks like they do swerve on in and are able to get basically the god spot in this ring.
This is the god spot, but a lot of times you don't get rewarded with a ton of kills from this position. You're going to have to charge these armors up, otherwise teams are going to push towards you immediately. Never misses that team that goes and takes that train tunnel that we're used to seeing Razer play. But this is a big play over here as this team starts to push. This is a crazy aggressive play. There should be third parties in the vicinity. Grenade inside the bubble. Will it connect? Looks like it's a little bit too far out to go and hit as hard as they wanted to. Mastiff's going to go left, right, and center there for Muffins. Hakulo, the most healthy on the team, as Muffins is moving around with just 1 HP. Will the third party come through? Never miss with a crazy aggressive play onto Team Razer. They must have got the armor checks and were feeling confident, and they know they're confident because their team name is Never Miss. But Razer gets the loot, gets the armor upgrades, everything that they possibly need to hold this zone.
Yeah, they went from rags to riches there, and that was massively important as Team Cheez-It have made the rotate in, and they're taking out Team Pop-Tarts. There's Lucas Let's go down along with Stomps, and so they get that team fight win. Ring closing in now. We're already down to 18 squads here. A lot of early game fighting as Prodigy Aces is brought back into this. Beast of the Hunt was there for Rakinishu throughout all that time to get the additional scans. And now they're chasing after this, trying to get one more kill here. And they should be able to walk this one down, and they go. They pick that one up. Moose and Flower falls. Team Cruelty's out. We're now down to 17 full squads remaining.
Team Cruelty runs into this issue all the time where there's just so many aggressive plays happening over towards Epicenter, Refinery, Survey, Overlook, etc. They get in a fight, they win it, they come out, have bad loot, whatever it is, they get caught off guard on the rotation. It's just really unfortunate for Team Cruelty. They have to be ready for that, but that's just going to be growing pains for them. They're going to get stronger and stronger at fending off all these players. Speaking of trying to fend off players, Team Cheez-It trying to do exactly that after hitting a little bit of the reset button. See if they're going to be able to heal over towards this building. Prodigy eats a lot of damage. Going to have to hit the battery. Team Pringle's taking this high ground. These are two teams. Battle of the chip snacks over here, sitting over towards the top of our leaderboard. Let's see who's going to win.
And now as Pringles tries to slide in, closing the distance there as they do get that initial knock. Rakinishu going down. It looked like Cheez-It were trying to back away into position where they can set up with the caustic, but unfortunately, they just got hounded down as they will be able to secure that thirst onto Rakinishu, and there's no way they can really try to pick up this banner as the ring is starting to close in. They back away all the way over to Refinery as the third party comes in. Let's go ahead and swap back on over to Team Pringles because they are still currently in a fight right now. This might be the opening for them to try and come in for that beacon, but it doesn't look like it. The team is starting to back away now. The scan comes out to see that that team has decided to back away and disengage off of this. So Team Pringles swatting down the third party excellently.
Looks like they're going to elect to play the ring here on the outside of the edge. 30-30 in hands for Tempest. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to connect.
Yeah, they do have some crafting, so they can take their time here. They can buy the heals if they want, and it looks like Team Cheez-It thought, hey, maybe this is our opportunity to try and get that beacon, but no, that time is gone as NPL find themselves in a fight, taking out RBG. Oxymoron is the only one alive, was able to take to the balloon here, but who's going to be waiting for him along this landing? I mean, the teams should be in survey. Teams should be on this high ground. Surprisingly not, though, as he's getting tagged from behind. He does back away now, starts popping the cells for himself here. As, hey, there's a blue. Let's see if it's broken or not. We'll find out in just a moment as he finishes off that med kit. And yeah, it's a fresh blue for him. So hey, that's a quick upgrade. But how much longer can he survive for? That's the big question here. You do have the thermal, or excuse me, the digi thread, and now it looks like this is going to be his home for a while.
Another Tomcat Rat Cam. He's most likely going to get spotted out here fairly shortly. Let's go ahead and scroll through and see what else is going on because I'm not a big fan of that lightning in front of my face. Rockstar. Golden Lava Fisher area has a team down bottom, which means this team is absolutely on the ropes. Big scanning going to come through in for Crummy. Matt Pickett trying to figure out what angle he wants to take with this gold helmet. Does connect on one of these longbow shots. You do have the R301 looking fairly good there as well. Nasky is going to go down. The finish coming in from Tech here very soon. Matt coming through too. Friendly Tech finish there going on to Nasky.
Yeah, this is, you know, some BM for BM, but it's all in good fun there, as I believe it was Turtle Club, right, that took out Rockstar in game number 4. And so a little tip for tat there is it looks like Rare Excellence got into a fight, trading away, but now they're just down to 1. It's all to his Watson. Beautiful spray with the R301, but he's going through caustic gas. Has to be careful. Secures that thirst for himself at the very least. Now Thermite comes in and he does get tagged by it, but he backs away safely for the time being, as it looks like the third party might allow him to go for the res. No, the fast res. You're allowed. Why'd you drop down into the elevator shaft there? Looks like Applejack's coming in for the third party. We'll be able to clean this one up.
It's probably the best case scenario, to be honest, because if he starts hitting that res, the rest of these players are going to collapse on him immediately once they hear that one. But unfortunate situation for Rare Excellence. Applejack's is going to take that 10 times out of 10. They've been playing pretty well. Surprising that they're not a little bit more high up on that leaderboard. Team Rockstar getting some kills over towards the side. Looks like they finally hunted down Rambo from the rest of the Turtle squad. Crummy takes a lot of damage. That's Nacho believe that's going to be the R301, possibly coming in from the side there, as you do have really nice Nox gas fan coming in from Matt Pickett. Tech is going to sit in that one and put in some nice spray across the map as they get the knock onto Awkward Turtle. Can't get the finish, though, on that player crawling up over towards the side. Nice more spray over towards leading his shots. And the res comes through on a Crummy. Phoenix Kit is going to be popped, too, and they are going to get the finish onto Awkward Turtle. So nice reset there from Rockstar. Zone is moving, just round 2, so they can afford to eat this damage if they do have the meds for this one, but they do know the team in front of them is just a duo, and they are fairly weak.
Yeah, 14 squads remaining, 34 players remaining as the zone starts closing in here. There's a caustic barrel right up top, and he takes that damage, and they try to go for the peek, and they get the knock. That's going to be Metro inside. Panders will be able to get the thirst onto Tech. So Team Intel playing the edges here, are able to get that one kill at the very least. But you do have the rest of Team Rockstar just leaving now. NPL finally finishing off. Looks like the remnants of Rare Excellence as his Watson goes down. We're down to 13 squads now left with 32 players here. As Team Intel are just going to chill for a little bit and camp this banner. The scan comes out, and yeah, that signals that they were looking for that beacon. King Chemist still alive for a refresh rate, but he's going to slow walk this one in through Epicenter for now on the Tomcat Rat Cam. Does he have any heals, or was he just holding on? Oh, he gets spotted out. Never mind, that was Oxymoron, who was another rat. And Tomcat really getting their value here off this partnership right now.
They really are. Rats all over the place. Pringle's going to finish that one off. Looks like they do play this high ground where we see a lot of top teams rock this fairly often. This is a lot of safe cover. You keep your back over towards the zone, and you force all these teams to fight down over towards the survey side. And we do know where this one's going to pull, though. We know that there's that high respawn beacon over on the very north-hand side of the map. So the rotation is going to have to be most likely on that right-hand side behind them on that east side wall. And then they play the opposite side of the train tracks and make their way that way. And then another rotation is going to be South State. They're going to have to make their way over through survey, excuse me. Or they're going to have to rotate through the train tunnel, which we know multiple teams are going to be.
Yeah, and they're able to finish off Casper there, and we have to talk about, South State's last game. It was very narrowly not a 30-point game. They had 17 kills in game number 4 with that plus 12, so just 29 points for them. And now that's why they are still in the running here with 2 games left to go. Still alive, picked up some kill points, made it to the mid-game, top 12 squads with 31 players remaining. Now they have to decide how they want to approach this train tunnel. And it looks like Bronzy realizes that they've got a good beat on them, and that's a lot of cover to play off of. Instead, they're going to try and push him from the left side. No, never mind. Rethinking this one. Maybe try to go straight up the gut here. Joining on board with Team Pringles, who are playing on the eastern side of this zone. Got a lot of coverage to work with. They've cleared out some rats as well. So they can play here for some time now with 50 seconds left to go. They might have to jump from train to train here as Fury is looking. Spots one out, jumping with that head glitch as 6 is able to get a knock on to Applejacks. Applejacks versus Team Intel right now. Applejacks just down to Rolders, and Team Intel will win that one out and get the res onto 6. And as we join on board with South State, they try to push into that train tunnel, and they do finish off GS Bird there. The gold bag res coming out from Mercy only to get Pride back into this.
Did he hit him with the kidnap right there? It could have been. We saw him going for it. He put the portal in the air so that Bird could possibly not get back through. And now they're going to go back through. The kidnap had to work there for Pride. What a phenomenal job going through the Watson fences, getting players over towards the generator, and creating a 2-on-3 opportunity. Big, crazy play coming through from South State. And now they're just continuing to build their confidence, Jamerson. Like you said, they basically hold the record right now in Series E Season 2 for the largest point total with 29. I'm sure that one's going to be broken eventually if someone drops a 30 bomb, but they're rocking and rolling right now.
Yeah, and they're not clearing these Watson fences. They're going to allow those fences to persist and use that as Intel tried their hand at pushing this tunnel, but Metro has taken so much damage now, getting full swung on, and that's going to be Pride Kuma to take out Metro as Pander swings on in. Pride finds another one with the EVA 8, and Bronzy will be able to finish off Panders there. So Team Intel Wow, losing out in a 3v3 in a very convincing manner. As Bronzy will pop that beast to the hunt, and they need a gatekeep against this squad. The Nox Gas grenade, or never mind, it looks like it was the defensive bombardment that Mercy only is considering, but he has to back away for now. Bubble's already been used, and that team's taking so much damage to the ring. The gold bag res coming out once again from Mercy only, keeping them fighting fit as we join on board with Rockstars, just tech alive here as Pringles are now in a fight themselves, taking on Team Cheez-It. Joey Blackout going down. And you can see NPL have this high ground angle to work off of overhead Skyhook. There's a team pinned down, defensive bombardment going down on top of that as well. It connects onto Nacho, and they won't be able to pick that one up very shortly here. The Spitfire with 3 total clips to work with, really 4 total clips to work with. They will be able to get that last kill onto Goofy Gamer. Now they have to push in through that train tunnel. It's going to be a very vicious affair as so many teams now are funneling through the train tunnel. Defensive bombardment along with bubbles have been used. Pride now swinging down once again, hitting with that flat line. It's Bronzy though that gets the knock onto Pickles, and it looks like South State want a repeat of game number 4. This is what could propel them now into first place. If they get another W back-to-back here, they might be able to snipe that away from Team Cheez-It as they push up. Mercy only at the building now, climbs up. They've already got the knock onto Views here as Pickles gets finished off by Bronzy. It's a 1v3, and South State now have control the south side of the zone, but they have given up control of the train tunnel, and so they're almost forced to just play on the outside here.
Interesting if they want to try to go for the finish through the portal throughout all of that, as Pringles has been a nuisance over towards this backhand side, the high ground. Also have the portal to get placed over towards the next area that they want to go and play, and we see this fairly often as now South State does infiltrate and finish off that 2 versus 3 that they ended up having. I believe they did get the res off throughout all of that, and Mercy, it's huge that he doesn't go down right there. Kill leader, 1 HP, popping this Phoenix kit, and now it's going to be a South State versus Team Pringles battle for that little sliver of zone that's going to be in outside over towards this northwest side.
No, Pride does have his portal, so he can get them back into the train, but it would be almost a blind rotate. Mercy is tagged by that Arc Star there, but it looks like they have to go straight into them now with the zone closing. It's a very fast circle here. Team Razors, with that first team fight win early on in the game, they've been sitting on these purples, and this is really what has allowed them to stay in this so far. Importantly, it's the fact that they were able to pick up the early kill games. So not being able to find kills in the mid game, they're okay with that because they picked up the KP earlier there. 5 squads remaining, 13 players left as Team Pringles are trying to gatekeep now up against South State. South State, we're trying to run this lobby once again for a second game in a row, but this time now their backs are up against the ring here, as looks like they might try to swerve to the eastern edge. Pringles did give that one up. Nox gas grenade looks like might have been used, or just some barrels, a lot of barrels being thrown down by Presley. And South State are not relenting quite yet. They have another minute to work with to try to find something, find an opening here. The crossfire being set up by Pride Kuma, doing decent damage with that anvil on the flat line. Now he's forced to bat himself and might have just bought enough space for them to try and crawl up a little bit. So we still need to figure out who this last ret is remaining in this lobby. We'll find out in just a moment as Pride does rejoin his squad with that Q. And with 40 seconds left to go, they have bought some space for themselves. It looks like they do have a sliver of this ring, but they're gonna have to do something about Pringles here, Tom.
Yeah, this is a tough situation to be. Once they take this, they're most likely to get third-partied over towards the side. Pride takes so much damage. Zone closes in 24 seconds, so this battle is going to continue to poke back and forth. Tempest did pop his beast of the hunt, and he realizes how important this fight is going to be. And also you can tell the skill from this team based on the amount of pressure they're adding, so that just goes to show the respect that Tempest is having for these guys on the South State side. Now NPL waiting in the wings. You also, remember, have Team Razer in the God spot right now, so really the team that's in the worst position would be South State. We'll see if they're going to be able to fight their way through, because we know that third party, again, is going to come immediately once this fight takes place.
Yeah, Presley took a lot of damage along with Fury there, and he hasn't healed quite yet, and it looks like he only has small heals as well, as he's popping cells for the time being. That's his only barrel, and nades are coming in, and oh my goodness! Alrighty, that's the instant thirst, and that's Team Pringles going down. NPL got involved in the fight. That's what we were talking about. The third party, you always have to be wary of it, and that creates the opening for South State now to survive in this ring. currently. It looks like this one will ultimately end over by Team Razer, and so they can take their time. They need to make sure that NPL aren't able to poke out from that train tunnel for free and force South State and NPL to fight here on the left choke. But it looks like South State realized that and have pinged for that right-hand side instead to try and walk up.
Yeah, they're going to try to force the teams into one another, and by doing so, they can make the rotation over towards the right-hand side. But will they go above or below the train is the question. It's going to have to be maybe a bubble play. You also have to worry about Bambino on this crypto. With his EMP, he's going to be able to gather a lot of information. I'm surprised that Bambino's actually not flying in his drone right now, trying to gather information, just deciding exactly how they're going to approach this one. Because one good EMP could really change the tide of this fight, especially if he times it right when these Gibraltar bubbles come down on the opposite side. Then Dracos can hit him with that Wombo combo with the defensive bombardment. So 23 seconds left. Again, a minute and 30 once that zone does come to close. So we got about a minute and 50 seconds to determine our winner here in game number 5.
It looks like Southside are making a move. They had that ping down on the rock before. They got one player there, and they are fully pushing onto that one. And so now Team Razer have their work cut out for them. There's a two-front battle here as Kuma backs away off of this one. They're going to try to utilize this small angle here and peek out. Bronzy doing decent damage, and he's got the Beast of the Hunt to work with right now, giving them some very valuable information. Tries to go for the flank to see if he can find an opening there, but nothing quite yet. Another scan, it comes out as the zone slowly creeping in on all of our squads, and it looks like Team NPL are going to be the first one forced out of position, forced out of the cover of that train tunnel now, as every squad just throwing down their scans now. Bronzy goes for the peek, doesn't find anything quite yet. Doesn't look like they have utility either, or the nades would be flying in over there. That might just be all the utility done for our squads right now, as the Beasts of the Hunts do end. We do have the defensive bombardment going down at the right time. They're going to be forced into it here as it comes on down, but it looks like, do they get any connects? Whew, right on top of them, but they do have the bubble to work with here. And it looks like they will survive for the time being. They've got the heals from the battery as well. Now they are just funneled in behind that one box here, and they might have to just full connect. NPL forced out of cover. Mercy only taking a lot of damage. Ring forcing South State out of position. It's Hakulo and Zeratricky picking up these kills for Team Razer. Very valuable ones for them, especially making sure that South State do not pick these up. The thermites are there, and that is just the patience coming out from Team Razer. I thought all the utility was gone, but they were holding on to it in their back pocket, doing a lot of damage, but Pride is still alive, and oh my god, did they do it? No, Team Razer survive and take the win here in game number 5.
What a job by Hakulo, holding it down for his team, making sure he didn't go down right there, but also credit to Team Razer, credit to Muffins. The last Gibraltar dome is typically the dome that's going to win right there. South State had to use their dome a little bit too early. The defensive bombardment came onto them. They had Nessie Pure Life coming outside the tunnel, so they're the first team to go and put their bubble down, and you see what happens once the rest of the team save theirs. They have a huge advantage. Great job by Muffins.
Yeah, and importantly there for Team Razer, simple fact that, of course, they came